Peace, 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 peace. Greetings, greetings, greetings. Oh man, this ain't even gonna be a long one here, y'all. I always say that, but it's one of them early risings. You don't have your tea. You getting these thoughts, Gemini season. Oh man, what this one is? How could I say? Yo, I know y'all can feel me on this one. Ooh, Lord. I don't even want to make this about zodiac signs because it's really not about that. We all carry every kind of energy. Those that are well, let me first start off by saying give an honor to source, give an honor to the ancestors known and unknown. Much love to you all, peace to you all, clarity, awareness. It's Gemini season. I got up. I don't care about watching. Like, who cares? I love me, so I'm not even gonna get on the depths of just like, man, y'all. It's how y'all doing out there? I ain't even gonna pretend. You know how you try to look. We don't have to pretend that everything is always okay. I'm telling you, like I love sharing these messages because not only do I do it for me, but I know how much it's going to help so many that are on their path, coming on this path, or just basically on your journey in your life, however you want to see it. But this one here is very, 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 very important. Like I've been doing a lot of journaling. Um, a lot of stuff to where like I may share a poem with y'all. I'm gonna share something with y'all. And let me tell y'all, when you're doing something, especially from yourself, those that are in this process, coming out of this transitioning process of learning you more, loving you more, honoring your own boundaries, creating those boundaries. A lot of us came to implement that here. We're creating a part of our journey, awakenings, ascension, however you want to title it. Our inner knowingness is a part of this is to set the blueprint for not only ourselves but for the future. And that can be very offensive. The truth can be very offensive to a lot of people, but it's not going to change, because truth is a high vibration. Love is a vibration. And so nothing can be hidden. So that being said, that can be very offensive to people who do not live in the truth. So, man, if in this season, I would say it would be very important to get you a journal. You see, I got two pens. Because, pens don't. I'm very sensitive about certain stuff. Like writing. Like, I got to have a certain kind of pen. I get irritable. It annoys me. Got to write a certain way. I'm just very, like, detailed and specific about a lot of stuff that I do. I am going to make videos with these. That's probably what I'm definitely going to do because I don't want to really get sidetracked. But I just want to let you know you are amazing. You are beautiful. You are not a disappointment. You've never been disappointed. Ooh. I'm going to read one and then I'm going to get back onto my topic because a lot of stuff. One thing about me, I'm learning upon this journey is that when it comes to mastery, or discipline, like fasting, that can look different for everyone. Discipline, everyone's terminology, language. Like I live in my own world, my own universe, my own everything, and hairs, and I've learned that from just more of accepting me and not being concerned about what others do. Because in their world, of course, they're going to perceive things completely different than I do. You know, not to mention the level of awareness consciously more so even their experiences are completely different from mine. So even to compare is like really insanity to me. So I'm gonna share something real deep with y'all because a lot of stuff, again, I'm learning the discipline in silence. A lot of studies show that, like, I think it's 85, I believe it's like 90, 100, honestly, that a lot of communication is like nonverbal, so you really don't have to say much. Those of you that, connect here, but you know what I'm getting at. But body language says a lot. And that's one thing I have learned upon my journey. Is like many can say a lot of things with their mouth, but body language will teach you a lot. One thing I did learn, I'm gonna share this with y'all, is that growing up in abusive homes, recycling those things, growing up in a controlled environment, growing up in environments that wasn't as healthy, was very unhealthy, and I can acknowledge that. Was like growing up in like a mental asylum or a psych ward in a way. And I know a lot of you can relate, but and this is not to devalue or criticize anyone in any way, because I myself can be my own worst critic and my best supporter. That's something I've learned. And in doing so, I realize even how much silence can be very beneficial, and more so when you're learning who you are. See, those who will take offense and get offended to you learning who you are those that are afraid to really learn themselves, or haven't, or there any awareness of accountability there. And so people can find it easily to come in to, dump whatever it is on you or project onto you how they're feeling, and expect you to just carry that load as if you don't already have a fucking responsibility to your own being, who you are, carrying your own karma, living out your own karma, and doing the best you can do, even in that moment, even in that day. Just simply disregarding everything, like your entire existence or being, without a hey, how you doing? And so I just want to say, hey, how are you? You know, I'm gonna read this poem because a lot of stuff I'm sharing is definitely, I don't give a fuck if it's one viewer, two, whether it's 10 years from now, even when I'm not here, how much I realize that even upon my journey, because everyone's different. And this is something you should learn about. I'm not, if people not into natal charts, you don't got to get that deep. This doesn't have to resonate with everyone, but it's simply about, learning your North Node. And one thing I learned about even mine is that learning not only to see within myself, but to see the bigger picture. Everyone is different, but that's what makes us all unique. And that being said, is that everyone role and purpose here, they're already living it out. You know, if they're not aware of what they're doing, I would consider that fate. But when you do come into this awareness of learning yourself, loving yourself, knowing that you're going to be with yourself the rest of this duration here, then that is very vital to have a partner who can understand that. It doesn't have to be forcefully, but that's what I learned what it is to be unequally yoked, or more so being like knowing that you have to be your own everything first, because I can only give you what I first given myself. So the beauty of all of that is that not everyone is going to see, perceive, accept, agree, do everything we like. And that goes back even to the nonverbal or body language, is that I can easily detect and this is something like I was actually going to school years ago for psychology in Oakland, Cali, and one thing I really pondered on is that shit, like a lot of stuff. I was like, and this may seem crazy to some, but let me tell you something. I was like, yo, I would sit back in the class, and you have people from all demographics, cultures, whatever, different creeds, uh, age groups, people returning, people that were younger. And sometimes we sit here and I'll just be like, like, it amazes me even how some people can simply judge just because this person is returning. Not that it matters, but this person is returning at the age of 30, 40, 50, due to, maybe wanting to accomplish something. Then you have the younger ones who are fresh out of high school. It's so many things. But then you have this professor. This professor who's been teaching or came to get his degree or whatever to teach or whatever, and been doing this for 5 to 6, 7 years, teaching the same curricula or whatever it is. This is not to discredit any teachers, but one thing that I realized that I did not like from school or these corporations or universities or any of this shit is how not only does it look the same, but it's taught the same. Is it really challenging? So this is something that I really learned about myself, is that when I was in it, I would sit back and I'd be like, man, how? I just thought it was very insane for a teacher, whatever he has outside going on, outside of, the class, even the expectancy to grade all these papers, to expect people, just not even just the grading, it's just how people are valued simply through a concept of what man or someone created on how we should be valued in this world, such as a grading system. If you don't make an A, then you are what? Failure. Does that mean you're a failure in life? So it's like basically like measuring the success when life in itself, like I can see myself just waking up, simply going to take out the trash, going to how could I say planting the garden, something simple. That in itself is an accomplishment, and successful accomplishment. See, the thing is that how the world has measured, we we we've allowed others to dictate our own success, or what success is, or not only how we should be, how we should act, what we should do. All while disregarding that all those people in those classes, and this is like a little testimony, all those people in those classes learn different, receive information differently, not to mention whatever else they had going on outside, whatever crisis or midlife crisis they had going on outside of school. So I would sit there and be like, yo, and what I learned when I was there, it's like you got people that either lived in a car, you got people that probably was in a shelter. You don't know no one's fucking backstory, yo. But it's so easily for people to judge or throw the stone and hide their hands, whether it be behind social media, because it's so easily, because we've been driven off of narcissism or, mental illness. And people have become numb to this shit. So it's not that I couldn't make a commitment to getting good grades or obtaining or what some may call a degree, but what was that fulfilling? Why was I doing it? Who was I doing it for? I knew I wasn't doing it for me. So I made a decision one day to just simply go in there, because I care more about being social with other people. That's just me. I'm a social butterfly. But it was the peer pressure from some of the counselors, like, oh, we need you to do this, just because, the whole stereotypes or just the labeling or the titles, just because you look like this, we need you to be this. You need me to be that for you. I don't need to be shit for you, but to simply be me. So I made a decision one day to, I'm gonna get this out. I made a decision one day to just simply fail. And it wasn't that I failed purpose. Well, yes, it wasn't that I was a failure. I just didn't give a fuck. I said, you know what? I don't even care. I don't care about going to the school anymore, enroll. I don't care about none of that. Shit, I care more about how the school was positioned on a hill where you can see the whole Bay Area, San Francisco. I literally would just go look over the hill. I was so more amazed at nature and creation. As an artist, I was already receiving, getting what I naturally needed. I was more concerned about exploring instead of trying to live my life out through other people. And then for them to simply judge me or cast their stone or simply write me off simply just because I didn't live up to their standards or expectation, that showed me who they were and who I'm not. Because no one has it all together. It didn't matter what age that you see that, demographically or, how people come from every walks of life. This whole illusion of what y'all may call the American dream. What dream? Y'all desperately are trying to get a piece of the America coronation. Desperately trying to be a part of something that has not only failed you, but it's leading you to self-destruction. It already has. This is why you see so many people shifting, moving away, now knowing, coming into their awareness of like, you know what? It's time for me to fucking do what I need to do for me. So some would see that as very selfish. And I see it as very selfless. Because why shouldn't I be who I came here to be? We all been fooled and bamboozled. Because look at how now, when you see systematically how all this stuff is falling apart just for something new to come. You got elders and a lot of people are just blown away right now because the world is ending to them. And for some like myself, it's truly beginning because I'm not concerned about a lot of stuff or worry about anything. Because I knew even now through my own sacrifices of letting go of things, I found me. I learned about me. Now to set healthier boundaries. Now to protect my peace, my energy, my own currency more than anything. Instead of trying to convince the world that, hey, look at me. I have this, I have that, I have this. But be fucked up inside. No. So I'm going to read this poem to you because this one, this, I just call it floetry or just writing, it's free writing, whatever you want to title it. But the words is just like as more I learn about myself, I realize to the depths of how I'm channeling the energy of what I experienced from my past, what I assumed that I healed, but now what I'm using to alchemize or transmute into not only acknowledging what I've accepted, but now I can share it with the world unapologetically. Not fearing about other people's opinions and how they're going to view it. I could give not one, but two plucks, okay? So, anywho, this one is deep because it really showed me a lot about my relationship with myself and more so with others because it goes more too about how, we could be seeking so many things externally for acceptance and validation. And that even goes back to the story. Is that you can be around people with all the money, all these things, but yet they are not secure within themselves. And then one thing I realize is that these people don't practice and live off integrity. They don't. But I can honestly say I have, but I don't need to convince you of that. And I'm not here to, so I don't even expect that. Because those that are in tune and are aware of this, like minds, you would connect from a level that doesn't have to really be explaining. It's just more like an inner knowing. So this one is, I love it. It's like, it goes, you bled on me long enough. I cannot stop your bleeding if you refuse to see the wounds. They're right there. Can't you see? Am I accountable for the wounds prior to my arrival? Why am I to blame? Anybody but me. You expect me to heal your wounds and my own? I guess so. My mom did. Maybe so can I. Fuck. Let me find a clone or build a bear and find the reasons to care. Disregard my emotions, my mental well-being, all while pretending that my being well isn't well. So much for being me. Oh well. So even in that, like, as I self-reflected on that, and then even through this whole process of learning my value, of not like my value, even all the past relationships, a lot of this showed me it's like, I'm accountable for me first. I'm accountable for my own emotions. I have to be accountable for my own well-being first. I cannot depend on others to bring me that happiness, that joy, that love, that money, that anything first. I have to first know that I am secure within myself and feel worthy of these things. So a lot of this that, reading that, just even pretending. You see the world, a lot of people now, it's like, I'm not going to pretend when I said like, no longer disregarding my emotions on how it is I feel. I need to speak up and say, no matter how uncomfortable it is, because a lot of people avoid confrontation. They are scared to actually speak their truth because they're afraid of what the other response may be from the other person, or how they are, how they would react. And a lot of which is that you already know how they're going to react, because it's how you respond to their reaction. So this is how the world has been disregarding their own fucking emotions and hoarding these things, because people are afraid to have these uncomfortable conversations with the ones they love or say they love, or family or whatever it is. But yet what I've learned is that it's easy for them to go dump on someone or project onto someone, how it is they feel. And then when that person gets to a place of wholeness or security or learning who they are, it's easy for them to just think that that person is going to be accepting to their bullshit. No. When you get to that place within yourself and you start setting healthy boundaries, it will be very offensive to someone who has been living in what some may call the narcissistic behavior. Because it will easily show you their wounding, because when they don't get what they want or they feel like they haven't won, they will do things or do their best to try to win by all means necessary. Whether it be through some type of controlling, some type of emotional manipulation. And this is from learning from experience, y'all. Growing up in households, growing up in a society. That's the thing that people refuse to acknowledge. You've grown up in a society like this. So of course, you unconsciously not knowing until it like boom one day. Like, what the fuck? That's what the awakening or awareness is all about. You're like, yo, what? Huh? I would suggest people see that movie Soul. I like that movie. Um, but so a lot of this has shown me it's like people are burnt out. They're burnt out with a lot of things. And if I have to recognize that if I've been pouring from an empty cup, people get burnt out mentally, physically, spiritually. So once you start choosing yourself, it will become of course, it will look like you're selfish in the eyes of those that don't know what it is to choose themselves or how it is because they don't know how. See, it's not that a narcissistic person or a person that, is so used to using their woundings or living out their wounded behavior through other people as a crutch. It's not that they don't know how to change. I mean, it's not that they don't want to or need to. They don't know how. See, a lot of us, we can talk about these things and make these videos and express these things to so many people. But let me tell you something. I didn't know how to love myself. Let me make that very fucking clear. I didn't know how to love myself. I didn't know how. Honestly, I didn't know how to love women. I didn't know how. And see, and men, like I didn't know how to love people because guess what? I never had that demonstrated to me. I never knew what that looked like from a natural eye. I never knew what it was. See, and this is why everyone is different. A lot of us never knew a healthy household. A lot of us never knew an environment in a household where you actually spoke to each other healthy. This is why a lot of us, I'll go into it. I don't like to speak about colors, but I do like to speak on the fact of how, me from my experience, how I can see why it is now, even through my art, because I'm going to show you this, even through my art now. Seeing the beauty not in myself, but also the women that I come from. Because if the world has tried to, not even the world, because it's not about blaming no one, because this is also a part of my own journey and healing journey. It's that, you know, at a point in time, I do realize, like, because sometimes I have to see not only, you got to see what's on the surface, and surface mean like the physical aspect. But then when you get into things spiritually and metaphysically, I start to see past like, okay, is it really about color, or is it, or what has been used to divide a people? And so now displaying and expressing my art is more so of how I realized that certain things were used to really see the beauty in others rather than myself. Like, look at this tree. Look at this. I'm a representation of all of that. My hair is like a bush. My face. A lot of stuff when I look at nature reminds me of that. So now getting to the point of like, if I grew up in a household, and this is a lot to, and this can be for everyone, honestly. Why it is that a lot of people do not want to engage with people that look like them per se, or they don't even know unconsciously a self-hatred towards their own people. So my thing is this: who taught you that? Where did you learn that from? Then really sit with that. And I don't mean it's just like, yeah, like the people you grew up with, the environment, but what narrative has also been pushed through television, through what you see. And see, this is just about awareness, to bring a more awareness to not only yourself, but to help others, that are willing to learn these things, because this is where the healing happens. See, a lot of us, you can call adults, I don't care about all of that. A lot of people are walking around so wounded, so unconsciously aware of where they're going, who they are, and their idea of themselves. I first, like I said, it's, and this goes back to, like, again, everyone here has been affected or has childhood woundings. So a lot of what they do is like a sense of, they don't know why they do it, but a lot of them, a lot of what we do is like a sense of trying to gain or looking for some type of fulfillment to fill a void for that pain, for that wound. It's like you can see someone walking around. I'll use this as an example. Let me see. Just imagine someone with an illness and you can see their sores externally, like, and you just see them walking around like, oh my gosh, are you okay? And they just say, no. I mean, they'll just say, yeah, I'm good. I'm okay. Yeah, it's nothing. And just imagine you seeing like a big gash or gauging, wound, and people are like, you don't see that? And they're just like, nah. And as painful as it is, we as a society, as people, have become numb to our own woundings, not externally, but internally. So this is where, again, where we can have a passion for things. That's why you see so many people with so much passion. But the compassion comes in is where compassion, I feel, in my opinion, comes from within, because I have to first have compassion for myself to have it for others. So it's like, like, it's the internal wounding that we refuse to see. The narcissist refuses to see the internal woundings. So it pretends, mask itself as if, like, hey, yeah, everything's okay, I'm this, strutting, da 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 da. But deep down inside, it's like a little child balled up, wounded in a corner in the darkness, just crying out. Crying out. This is what you see. So, and see, a lot of things upon this journey, because this one is very important. It's like, if I grew up in a demographic or a location where I only knew a people to disrespect me, not like me, or find reasons, which I learned now is due to a lot of self-hatred. And a lot of people they're not even to blame. It's just like, you don't know their internal conflict. You don't know their backstory. So you see a lot of wounded people out here now. Not only are they guarded, but due to so much betrayal and pain from experience, not just from one person, but a lot of their first bullies, a lot of their first, betrayals, a lot of their first losses, whether it be of a parental figure or someone in their family. A lot of these things started in their childhood. A lot of people's bullies, a lot of people's first bullies were their parents. A lot of people, a lot of betrayal came through their parents. A lot of foundations that were never stable came through people's childhood. And so now, due to their unhealed wounds or due to their childhood woundings, they carry these things like a backpack, more and more and more. And not only they carry their load, but they're carrying, because if they're not healed, they're carrying the burdens of what someone else did, that victim mentality. And they're carrying these things years upon years. Women in their womb, men in your, like we say, tissue, but issues. You're carrying this in your body, traumatic experiences, traumas, so many things when you really start to look at the healing process. They're carrying all these things genetically until, however the divine sees it, to where, boom, your awakening can come through a car accident. Your awakening can come through a disease. Your awakening can come through a loss. Your awakening can come through a relationship. Your awakening can come through a lot of things. This is what a lot of us have to realize and become very aware of, is that everyone's journey is different. Everyone's journey is unique. But the bigger picture is that, what are we all returning to? This is what people are like not speaking about. Because I don't know a hell that anyone can put me in. I don't know a heaven anyone can put me in. I feel like that is, for my opinion, is starts with you first. That meaning your happiness and how much you want to hate yourself. So again, if you look at the world in the state that it's in, one thing I know is fucking missing is love. And not just love, any type of love, self-love. And guess what? You can look anywhere around this mother trucker or anywhere around the world. Where is that displayed? How is that displayed? It's not in the schools. It's not in the universities. It's not anywhere. So a lot of you now have a responsibility, just as me, as, if you want to call it, holistic teachers, because a part of your awakening is to coming to these things. Holistic teachers, spiritualists, other titles that, that other people go by. But the beauty of this is that you had to go through your dark stages, acknowledge who you are, to even see the light aspect of who you are, the yin and the yang element, the dark and the light, however you want to see it. Because that right there, when you see your own darkness, you're able to see others. And then that's where the compassion comes, and really, how could I judge them? Because I do know they're going through their own inner conflict that has nothing to do with me, but my own healing, as I've seen it, helps others. Me being so focused on me helps others, because now I'm learning to pour, back into myself, to where I'm no longer out there just trying to feed the masses or help all these people. When I'm like, how could I help you? I first have to help myself. We've been helping, but really, is it's not everyone, but is it really healthy? Is it really coming from a place of where there's resistance to it? Oh, I'm going to help you, but, or I'm going to give you this, but. That's not even coming from a fulfilled place. That's not even coming from a healthy place. Is that really coming from a place of love? Because first of all, love can't be possessed. No one can be possessed in a sense of control. So that's the first illusion that you're seeing fall apart right now. But you see how society or people have now been driven off this power. And you're seeing it being demolished globally, everywhere. They've been power hungry, greedy, self-righteous, and now this shit is falling apart. Because you got people now thinking that they're trying to portray themselves as the creator, source, or God, some of y'all may say. But again, I always tell people, look at nature. Nature gonna show you everything. How can you think that you are in power of anything? Even you. What control do you really have? So again, even this journey will teach you, like, a lot of us are here, and this is something I want to get into. It's like you're on this journey, and the feeling, because a lot of us have been in a state, our whole life we've been lied to. And not only we've been lied to, we lied to ourselves. We've been living in a unconscious truth, or a way of, how could I say, a comfortable lie. And so now it's very difficult for people now to accept an uncomfortable truth. But I don't even expect that from people, because how could I expect you to accept me if you don't even accept the uncomfortable truths about yourself? If you haven't even looked in the mirror, or looked at the reflection of the water, or even see your fucking self and see the uncomfortable truths that you haven't accepted as man or woman. If you haven't looked within yourself or really acknowledged. So I stand very clear of others who do this. Oh, this person, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm solution based. I'm solution like my foundation is about solution now. Because at a point, it was always about everybody else but me. I can't blame nobody for where I'm at right now. So I'm the only one that can find a solution to what it is I'm doing. And I know myself to be doing that. So you are the solutionist in your story. Going back to the Oakland thing in the school is that I was like, yo, I'm better. I'm bigger than this. I'm not finna sit here and feel like I gotta convince the world that having a degree or having all these accolades or whatever it is defines me. That shit doesn't define me. Because there is no limitation in nature. You can't come over here putting your limitations on me. That won't work because that's your perspective of how you perceive the world. And see, this goes always back to our childhood woundings to where we are carrying in our minds someone the fuck else. Did you hear what I said? In your mind, there's someone in your fucking head that you have given power to and dominion to dictate your life. You know how, let me tell you something. Do you know the strength it took for me to fucking get here? Mentally, to get out of that place where some may call depression, which really is pressure or compression or suppressed emotions. You know how much that shit, uncomfortable conversations, confrontations I had to have and realize like, yo, it was never them, it was me hoarding this shit in. I was a little child battling with these things. I had to have those uncomfortable conversations with my mother because, you know, it worked both ways. Sometimes, you know, it's certain conversations you have to have with yourself. It's certain confirmation or acceptance or answers you got to give you first before you can even go out there. Because sometimes you're going to, and that goes to say like, who do you really need more? Yes, we need each other, but who? It's important for people to know that they need them first, to know that, you know, you can feel that sense of you not needing someone's validation or acceptance or, you know, those external things to even feel and even to be who you are and who you came here to be. So, a lot of which, again, reflecting and learning through my connections is that a lot of which I knew I had to sacrifice. A lot of people aren't ready to sacrifice those things because they live in fear of someone else's opinion and how the world will perceive them. Some people will never come out of that. But does that stop you? Going back to in your mind, do you know what it is, who you are? Can you even determine, like, is this me or is this someone else trying to, you know, am I allowing this person what they said 3 months ago, 2 days ago, 5, 10 years ago to stop me from fucking living, from me actually living my own life that I was given from the source, from the universal God, to come here to display to everyone unapologetically, you know, authentically, you know, organically, holistically, beautifully, wonderfully, whatever y'all call these words, but simply being my own vibe first, standing in that. No matter what externally, no matter what these people have to say, a lot of people are not ready for that. That's why I sit back and I say, you know, it's easy for y'all to judge these people in these places because your ass behind this camera or your ass at home to easily take the stress, what you feel like is a stress reliever or what you feel like would make you feel better. That's what a narcissist does. That's what a person, you know, does like that. Oh, let me go, you know, dump this shit on, let me go do this and gossip about this person to say, you know, to make me feel better. Or let me feel a sense of being in control. And that's not even nothing what honoring the feminine and masculine is. the divine father and mother, because this is what's being implemented right now. I don't care who accepts it or receives it. I still got to be me, because I only know me to be me. I know me better than anyone. You look at a child, no matter their age, they're not, they're not, what? They're not concerned about how the world views them. It's y'all that put this shit on them. Yes, you mothers and fathers, y'all project y'all fear into them. What the fuck you think happened to us, people? What do you think happened to us? We learn from these wounded people. We learn from people to stay comfortable in the lies we've been telling ourselves for years, or in this fucking distorted way. And now, you know, it's not even just a sympathy. It's like, yo, if I can do it, you can too. So get up. You got folks out here like, yo, I'm honored to have all of my limbs and to be healthy and give gratitude for everything, to even spread this message, to even share it. You got folks out there, and I tell people all the time, it amazes me how the world always want to praise external shit, but y'all don't even want to honor and praise the people who y'all label to have mental illness, or, you quickly write them off and throw them away, but yet, when it let that happen to you. Let that be your family. Let that be your cousin. Or let that happen to you. It amazes me, even the names they call. Oh, I don't even fucking like the terms handicap or We all unique, and you'd be surprised, a lot of people who you can perceive to be something are some of the most advanced and intelligent beings on this fucking, if you want to call it, earth. It's just your world, these people y'all praise are some of the most mentally ill people, are some of the most disgusting and degrading, and y'all praise pain. Praise it. It's like you live for it. You fuel off that. These entities attached to y'all praise this shit. Praying on the demise of, the meek. And now you're seeing the meek currently inherit everything that since from their birth, which is their birthright. And it's a spiritual inheritance as well as a physical. It can be different from others. Spiritual inheritance can be just simply knowing your worth, and your worth not being measured. It's unmeasurable, immeasurable, however you want to say it. Like, it's not measured through money, through the illusion of what y'all perceive success, or gaining all this material shit. Because y'all don't even know how to be yourself. Spiritual inheritance can be peace. It can simply be, getting a message or channel message and delivering the message to help others get through their grieving stage. So many folks grieving right now. They're in so much, turmoil, and they still get up and really doing something they don't even love. We don't even see the mental illness. Y'all praise gun violence and all this shit that don't even matter. Yet, where's the message on teaching kids to really honor who they are without y'all fucking trying to dictate and predict their next fucking step? You're control freaks, man. We all been affected by that. You fucking control freaks, man. And you get a rise out of it. It's sick. That's the mental illness. You don't even want to get to know yourself. So you try to control the kids, the environment, everything. Look at the place that you call home. It's not even a home. You just living in a house. There's no fucking love there. There's no honesty. There's no truth. And now you're seeing the whole world collapse because this whole shit was built on what? Sand. Then you want to run to the people when, you know, y'all folks is wild, man. Trying to run to the folks that you didn't even want, not only me, but others, to build a foundation upon truth. So you demonized it. Or, you try to do so much to downplay, devalue, castrate, ostracize, crucify people in their own fucking land, hometown, schools, environments, whatever. It doesn't even surprise me to the level extent people will go for power. It ain't even power. It's just a sign of weakness. Because that's not power to the divine. That's weakness. It's just showing a display of how weak what you're seeing now in y'all so-called Americas and they can't even hide it no more. Boast about being the strongest. People that boast about being all of these things. Love is not boastful. Boasting, arrogance, you know, confidence and arrogance isn't the same. Only those that are offended by confidence see it as arrogance. And it's really, you know, don't have to be explained. So I'm not surprised when I prance myself out, this motherfucker, like a black stallion or a Arabian horse or whatever you call it, you know, into the world, like my head up, like I should have my fucking head down. Who are you? Who are y'all? Because I found it within myself. I found that peace that you afraid of. I found that harmony, that bliss that we don't know. So therefore, people try to keep it a secret. What? And y'all wonder why folks like myself or other people, it's not that we don't decide or choose to be around people. It's just like, yo, you hear that? That's music to my ears. That's paradise right there. I did the inner work to get to this. And this is only the beginning. So again, for you that are on this journey, whether you're going in, you still can come out of that darkness. You just got to realize you are the light in that darkness. For those that are coming out, you still have a mission. You still have a purpose. Everyone, those that are going in, just as I went into the darkness, some don't make it out. Some are afraid to go in, so they live comfortably in the bullshit they tell themselves. But again, those that are emerging, that freedom, those that are going in, you too have that freedom. You just have to be willing, because it's you that got to see you. Then when you come out of that, you still got to see you, no matter how the world perceives you. So, and then even those that are coming out, a lot of this, when you're learning to like, and it's deep, it's like, even, what is this month? May, June, July? In August, it'd be almost 2 years, like, celibacy for me, or just being, being with myself. And it's like, yo, I could do this. And I had some little hiccups there because people don't talk about that. Because, you know, when you're talking about trying to fight off a spirit of lust or, you know, other things that I won't get into detail about, you still got to rid yourself of doing certain things, y'all know. But, and that goes like letting go of the semen, you know, because that's a part of my life force. So, but even with that, I'll get to this, is that a lot of us are even at that stage of trying to feel worthy or deciding whether we want to exchange with someone or co-create with someone again. These are the things that's untold that people aren't aware of. Yeah, women and men. That's a very challenging thing, especially for someone who carries a lot of Scorpio energy. It's like, through my whole healing journey, what it will teach you, your spiritual journey, is that not only your wounding will be guides to your emotions, but emotions are like oceans. They go in and out. So this this creative aspect of who we are, this energies, we learn more now about where we apply that, with my artistry. Sometimes people don't know, like, oh man, I was speaking to one of my homeboys, need to say his name, and something was just telling me, like, because I know it's been a few months with him that, he told me he hasn't did anything with someone. I was like, cool. So I was like, are you still doing that? He was like, yeah. I was like, it's a process. So even if you're going through that, whoever be led to this video, I would just suggest you doing spiritual baths. You can research it. What I told him is that you can either, a spiritual bath is like going to the beach, because that salt water will cleanse your body naturally. And if you do not have that, because some people may not even have a tub, there was a sister talking about how, well, I do know you can get sea salt or Himalayan salt, table salt, and, like make a beach in a tub, or even if someone has the little tub. Because trust me, I don't been there where I had to put water in a pot. I don't had to put water in a pot, heat it up, put it in a tub, because, I've been places where you didn't have hot water. But, you can do that, make like a warm bath for those that you do have that. And like I said, you can research more about this. But one thing I always suggest to people that in the tub is that that is like an emotional letting go. Some may use the term release, but letting go, because when you're in there and you're going through that cleanse, your body, if you keep doing it, you'll become lighter. Your body, your auric field, or your light body per se. Because people don't realize you're out here every day, and I always tell people this, spiritual warfare, you're out here every day not knowing what people go through. And you can read your Bibles and all these books, it tell you that we don't fight with flesh and blood, because I'm sending my own turkey, but with principalities or, wickedness in high and low places. And you're wondering why you're being protected by people, or you're wondering why your spirit of discernment, as your gifts heighten, you wonder why, oh, don't go this way. Oh, I'm protecting you. I'm putting you here. And you're learning, because there's more you need to learn about you that doesn't involve other people. So sometimes before we write them off, they also have to, that's a part of that departure is also a part of, it's helping everyone. See, we've got so accustomed to codependency where we're dispelling that narrative, because that was connected to the distorted mother, of how it was used. Is that okay? Of how, codependency was used through so much of emotionally manipulation, or so much of our own selfish emotional attachment to the idea of others, how they should be, what they are to me, whether it be titles, mother, father, this and that, my son. A lot of which, to where we don't realize, to the creator, to source, we're all playing a role in this. And once you realize that you've been holding yourself back, you will see that you will free yourself. And see, this is where a lot of people are. They're learning now where they want to free themselves, whether it be marital contracts, let you know, whether it be certain connections, relationships, partnerships, career, status. It's so many things that a lot of us came here to do, to now implement or bring forth this blueprint of a holistic way of doing things. Divine unions, partnerships, things as such. But the bath will help a lot of people. I will suggest that when you get in there, I always tell people, give yourself an hour if you can. Because I know there's a lot of mothers out there that have kids, or people that are going through stuff. If you can, just try at least, I don't care if it starts with 5 minutes. Go be to yourself for 5 minutes. Then, it's a process. 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes a day. Then get up to an hour. An hour would be very significant, because everyone at the most needs an hour or two. I'm telling y'all, people, this is why the mental health crisis is going to be so apparent, because we've been up under people most of our lives. We don't even know. That's why we don't know ourselves, because we've been underneath someone living in the shadows of other people, whether it be societally, government, however you say it, or other people living in their shit, their shit, living in their shit so long that you don't come so comfortable and complacent to where you don't even smell the shit no more. The shit don't even stink. I'm being real. Y'all been like we've been under people so long and people so desperately. The whole illusion of freedom has been so like manipulated in a way. There's an inner freedom to where it's going to reflect outwardly. You have to be free within first. You got to renew your mind, free your mind. So again, it can be as simple as like the little trips, going in the backyard. It's so simple to just simply be with yourself, like hear your heartbeat for once. Do you even know what your heart sounds like? I tell people this all the time. When you place your heart and you sit in silence, because I've seen this shit, this will drive people crazy, yo. This is why a lot of elders and a lot of people in the past I knew that got so offended. You got to realize this is some people program. They only know work. They only know to do the same thing every day, repetitively, and will get pissed at you because you're not doing what they feel you should be doing, how you should be doing it. They will want you not to slow down your life or become aware of what it is you're really here to do. They will get pissed po morally, like I'm talking about. Watch, be very aware when people start showing their true colors once you start choosing yourself. I'm telling you. And that'll give you every reason. This is going to be a process to give you every reason why you should always choose yourself. It took a process for me to get here, y'all. Everyone, we're all going through something. This is why I'm sharing it now so we all could, it can help a lot of people, man. A lot of us don't know what it is to choose ourselves. Because we have mothers and fathers or people who helped bring us up. They didn't never choose themselves. Even if they did, shit, a lot of people going fucking batshit crazy right now or about to lose it because they like this close. You're seeing it. I've been warned y'all about it. People this close. Mental health is going to be a fucking thing, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, man. I do not have all the answers. Shit, I'm still getting answers within myself. So I am not no one's savior. I can only share to the depths of where I met myself. And that's one thing I've always remembered is that people can only meet you to the depths that they met themselves. Imagine yourself, like we're all in this ocean, right? But we're not the same fish. Some people swim to the depths and start to learn more about. Some people venture off. Some people stay on land. That's how I look at it. Like I be all, I love it, but the avatar, like look at that, bro. You got people who represent certain earth energies. I like this because this is just me. I'm an avatar. I'm like a little nerd. I'm a little weirdo, but I love me. I don't give a plug. But a lot of people learn your moon signs or learn like the chart. A lot of stuff that people demonize and call wicked and all this other shit. Folks been doing this all in the world. This go way, way back. But again, people so fucking, their heart can be open, but their mind is so closed off, so it's not about convincing people anymore. It's just about simply sharing your truth, being authentic, standing in your divine truth, and living it out till you dissipate from this world and peace out. Beam me up, Scotty, I'm ready. I know a lot of y'all feel like that. But the truth of the matter is that the spiritual battle, yes, God, I gotta, Gemini moon. But anywho, um, uh, when you are in a tub, those of you that have a tub, like, let the water, after you finish, run all the way out. It's like letting go of all those things that you went through in that day, been going through, and if you can and possible, try to do it at least at the most two times a cycle. I don't like to say week, but 2 times a cycle if you can. Because energetically, you're realizing you're not only emitting so many things, but you're receiving so much information through your life, through whatever it is you're doing. And so, people that do not have a tub, my only suggestion to that is like, I really don't know. It's like, I would just suggest like pouring the water over you, whether it be salt, like using a bowl or something, warm water. And you could probably put like certain elemental things, like some type of self-care thing. I'm pretty sure you can research this. And then for some people may do. Oh yeah, after you do the tub thing, do take a shower. Like let the dirt from the tub. And yeah, and because I only can share what, again, from my own experiences. But again, this shit, you got people around the world that don't even have none of these things or have access to it. Shoot, some of us probably gonna be the ones that help them with it. But again, everyone's in their own element. But that's what makes a lot of people also powerful and strong, because they survived so many things, and a lot of us are coming out of that to be in a more balanced, lifestyle. So I feel like that's all I have to share with y'all today, man. Just keep keeping on and breathing, and realize like your journey hasn't been in vain, and a lot of stuff is coming up right now for a lot of people, and our journeys look completely different from someone else. So to even compare would be ludicrous. To even assume that someone's path is like yours, creed, culture, anything. No, this is shit. This shit is happening globally, cosmically. Just do the best that you can, however that looks, you know, and because we're letting go of so much. Again, you're talking about so many things that's centered around childhood wounding. So many things are dispelling. So many things are being let go, to where it can be very challenging in these moments for some. It will look good for some, and then for some that are not willing to do the inner work, it's just simply not meant to go. And that can be one of the most challenging things I feel for a lot of people, is that making that decision to walk away and sacrifice whatever it is to let go of and walk away and walk into. So, peace, blessings, shalom.